What's up YouTube, this is Appleboy and today I'd like to talk about tiny knives for EDC. Now why would you want to carry a tiny knife for EDC? Good question, and the answer lies of course in each and everyone's EDC philosophy. First of all, I want to make clear that the following content reflects my personal opinions based on my personal experience up to the time of release of this video, which is March 2013. So if you live in a different area or have a different daily routine, you probably may have different requirements in terms of your EDC gear. Okay, let's start off with what I would consider to be a tiny knife. I'd say it's a knife with a blade length of 6 centimeters or less, maybe 6.5 centimeters in some exceptions. And the handle should only allow a 3-finger grip, or less of course. There are some crossovers where the blade is longer yet the handle allows only a 3-finger grip, or the handle allows a 4-finger grip but the blade is within the 6 centimeter limit. But I'll count them anyway, just because they don't have the capabilities of a full-size knife. And why do I think I can get away with a tiny knife like that? There's two reasons. First, I live in an urban environment, and second, I have a desk job. With that being said, the toughest cutting task I usually come across is cutting cardboard. And usually I don't even have to do that because we have personnel for that. Life is good sometimes, don't you think? Well, not if you're a knife lover, because as such you want to cut. But usually all I cut is envelopes, packing tape, plastic straps and plastic wrap, zip ties and some cord. And for that, tiny blades are just the right choice. And you'll be surprised at how sturdy some of these small tools are. So finally we're coming to the options you have if you want a tiny EDC knife, and they are amazingly diverse. I'm still not quite sure in what order I'm gonna present these to you, from small to large or from light to heavy, so there's probably going to be some mix-up. I put a ruler down here so you get a rough idea of the sizes. Okay, I'll start with the smallest of them all. You've seen it already the whole time, it is the Spyderco Buck. This actually comes in a series with the Honeybee being the next larger one and the Grasshopper as the largest. I must say for their size, these actually were great, even the tiny ones. You still get good grip, which can be improved by adding a lanyard, and the construction is pretty rugged. But they are slip joints, though the blade doesn't lock. I'd consider the Grasshopper a standalone EDC knife, but the Buck and the Honeybee are a bit too tiny to be your only option, so I'd consider them backup knives. Another great option are the Ladybug and Manbug knives from Spyderco. These are also pretty small and extremely light. No pocket clips on all of these, but a backlock system to keep the blade in place. The lanyard improves the ergonomics significantly, and the blade can be deployed with one hand. I have these in various configurations. The Manbug and the foliage green Ladybug have VG10 steel blades. The yellow one has the extreme corrosion resistant H1 steel, and the dark green one has the extremely durable ZDP 189 steel and a full flat grind. The next two are some assisted opening knives, this being the Kershaw Onion Centofanti with a Warncliffe blade that kind of limits its everyday use a little, but it's still pretty rugged for the size with its aluminum handle and steel liners. And it's the first one with a pocket clip. And this is the Sogflash one of the best small EDC knives I'm aware of. Extremely light, assisted opening, very versatile blade with a full flat grind, and a deep carry pocket clip. But not a hard use knife by any means. Here we have three more knives that are pretty close to the size limit. This is the Spyderco Squeak, another pretty light slip joint knife with a full flat ground blade. Here we have the Spyderco Dragonfly, which is even lighter because it doesn't have the full-size backspring the Squeak has. This can already be held with 4 fingers, but the blade length is still within the size limits. And something of similar size is the K-Bar small dossier folder, which is one of my all-time favorites. Very slim, extremely light, almost fits all 4 fingers. and way more affordable than anything you've seen so far. Well, except for the Buck series, I think. Speaking of affordable, here comes the Chinese answer to the K-bar. Two Sanrenmu knives, the red one being the 605. What a great concept this is. Steel liners, forward finger choil allows for a 4-finger grip. This thing has some capability, and it's less than 10 euros, can you believe that? And by the way, it didn't come with a polished edge from the factory. That was done by me, and I'm kinda proud of it. The unique design is the Sanrenmu T11. Sounds like a Russian tank, and this thing is built like a tank. A great box cutter. This knife can take on some medium to hard cutting task with no problem. But keep in mind the Chinese 8CR13 MOV steel doesn't hold an edge that well when hard used, but the straight cutting edge is fairly easy to sharpen. It even comes with a one-hand opening can opener, which looks kinda useless because it has no sharp edge. But is a great transition to my last tiny EDC option, being multi-tools and Swiss Army knives. But to be honest, I wouldn't recommend cardboard cutting with these blades, they are way too flimsy. Of course you can upgrade to a larger version of a Swiss Army knife like the Victorinox Cadet, which is still within my size limits of being tiny, and you have the benefit of the additional tools, however for the cost of a pocket clip. And here's my tiny EDC knives all together. Do I have any favorites among these? Actually, I do prefer EDC knives with a pocket clip, but that doesn't mean I don't carry or use the ones who don't have one. At work I have a Spyderco Honeybee in my drawer as a backup. I have a Ladybug in my bicycle backpack and a Leatherman PS4 in my keychain. And I carry a Swiss Army knife in my jacket. If you have any additional tiny EDC knife options, please let me know. And that's gonna be all for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to put out videos on a regular basis. Thanks again, and see you around.